Are you still not seeing your abs even though you're dieting so hard? The chances are you're making one of these 5 mistakes that keep guys just like you spinning their wheels for years. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 biggest mistakes that I see high performing men make when they're trying to get lean and build muscle, and do exactly what I've done to go from this to this. So the first mistake so many people make is they drop their calories too quick. And I do get this, because when you want to drop your calories, everyone wants it quick. Everyone wants to lose weight quick. Everyone wants to get results quick. And by dropping the calories low, then that happens, because you do get quick results. You get quick drops in the scale because you're dropping so low. The main problem with this is what happens when you're eating 1800 calories, 1700 calories, and you start off that off the bat. Yes, you're gonna lose 5-6 kilos off the bat straight away. Amazing, you get quick kind of results. But what happens from there? Where are you supposed to go? Drop them further, do more cardio, do more steps, do more activity. What that is going to basically do is that is one, that's going to absolutely crash your hormones. Because what's the first thing that people do when they drop their calories? First of all, they drop the carbs. They drop the carbs and then they drop the fats. What are fats good for? They're good for hormone regulation. So if you're dropping your calories and you're dropping your fats and you're eating 20-30 grams of fat per day, you're absolutely tanking your hormones. And when you do get to the point, you're on 1500 calories as a man, you're literally down regulating your hormones. Yes, you'll be able to do it for a short period of time, but if you're going straight off the bat to 1700 and you've got quite a lot of weight to lose, then the chances are of you just dropping a load of weight, then just rebounding, are very, very likely. For example, I like to kind of treat it like an elastic band. So if you pull an elastic band, you pull, what's gonna happen? At some point, it's gonna snap. So if you kind of have your calories set too low, you're pulling, less. You're at 1400 calories a day. At one point, you're gonna snap, you're gonna binge, and you're gonna go a binge restrict cycle, and you're gonna lose and gain the same 5 kilos over and over again. The smarter move would definitely be starting off as high as you possibly can. So many guys come into me and they goes, oh, I didn't think I'd be eating that many calories. Eat that much food and still be dropping weight. That's the main important thing. Nice and slow. Aiming to drop between 0.6 and 1 kilo per week is absolutely perfect. Once you know, right, I've hit my maintenance calories, I'm not dropping on there, then we can slowly reduce it. 100 to 200 calories at a time. It doesn't need to be that drastic. Slowly reducing the calories over time is gonna be very, very good for one, just making sure you are losing fat, and two, being able to maintain your muscle at the same time. Because if you drop the calories too low off the bat, you are going to struggle to retain the muscle that you've already built in the past. The second biggest mistake that I see men make is they start majoring in the minus. They start looking for the perfect thing that's going to be the biggest game changer. You see it all the time on all these videos. Oh, I've got the perfect hack, this little hack here, tip here, pat there, that's going to make your results 10 times better, and it draws you in. And I get it, because everyone wants a quick fix. They want that kind of quick thing that goes, oh, if I start doing this one thing, it's gonna be easy for me to get in shape. Yes, everyone would love that. And there are tips and tricks out there that are gonna be helpful. Focusing on them small little details are only gonna give you what, 5, maybe 10%? But what is gonna give you that 80 to 90% of the results are 3 main pillars. And that is going to be your diet, your training, and your sleep. And do you want to know why people do not look into these things and don't really take these things seriously? It's because they are not sexy. They're not fun to do. They're very boring, it's very basic. If you start nailing them basics, you're gonna see a lot more results. And they can be very, very hard to do because they are that boring. It's nothing that's gonna get you excited to get up in the morning. It just comes down to waking up every single morning and nailing the basics. Making sure you're eating single ingredient food 80 to 90% of the time. Hitting your protein every single day. Sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night. And also making sure you're training hard in the gym. It doesn't even need to be complicated. Follow a plan consistently and train hard in the gym, and you're gonna see results. It doesn't even need to be 5-6 days a week and looking for the most optimal split, looking for the most optimal program. All it needs to be is consistent. You can go into the gym 2 to 3 times per week, making sure you're progressively overloading, making sure you're training 2 to 3 reps off failure, taking the last set to failure, and you will start to see results based off making sure your diet's on the money and you're able to sleep as well. Everyone overlooks this. They overlook everything to do with this, mainly because they want that one thing. They want that one thing that's gonna be the absolute game changer, but it's them 3 things that are gonna make the real difference going forward. And you do not need to be perfect with this. And nailing the basics, that's what I built my entire physique off. I don't promote kind of content that's, oh, this amazing trick. Yes, I'll give a few mindset hacks and a few little tips and tricks there, but I built my physique off nailing the basics, focusing on the major things, focusing on my diet day to day, focusing on my sleep day to day. And if I am looking to improve something, it's always looking to improve one of them 3 things. And it'll be adding in and implementing something in that's gonna help me do that. And this really rolls on to kind of the third mistake that I see a lot of men make, is they're starting to follow trends. They're following fad diets. You've seen it. You've seen the whole carnivore diet, keto diet, intermittent fasting, 16-8, everything, paleo diet, the Mediterranean diet, every single one of them diets. One, people wanna follow them because they're sexy. They've got rules. You don't need to follow all these trends. Yes, I think there is validity to every single one of them diets, and it's validity to every single one of the trends that come up. But notice how the trends, they become popular and then they kind of fall off. In my opinion, a lot of it is going to be person dependent. I can see why people fall into the track, because there's rules, because there's kind of things, and you see the result. You see someone, I've done carnivore for 90 days and I've done this to this. So you go, oh my God, I want that. I'm going to look exactly like him if I do that trend. Not going to happen, because what all these diets have, they have these one thing in common, and the reason why they are not sustainable for a lot of people is they're too extreme. They have too many rules that don't fit in with your lifestyle. That's why so many people get caught into them. They're good for a short period of time, but when it comes to actually living your life, then it becomes very unsustainable and people can't stick to them. And then once they can't then stick to them, they then give up on them because they think they think they're the problem, or that's the problem. It's not the diet's fault, it's I'm the problem. So they move on to the next one, they move on to the next one, and they make their way through. I can't lie, I did intermittent fasting. I tried a little bit of keto. I tried a little bit of carnivore as well. I did everything. I tried to do everything, and I thought that was the reason why I was seeing results, but it wasn't that. Because the one thing that these all diets have in common is they create a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus, which one you want to do, they create that. So intermittent fasting creates that by shortening your eating window. Carnivore, that will then cut the amount of highly palatable food you're eating, processed food you're eating. That's why people see results off the back of that. It just makes it easier. And the one you want to find is one that's you can stick to long term, the system that you can create long term. For a lot of the people that come into me for coaching, a lot of it is focusing on 80 to 90% whole single ingredient foods and allowing that 10-20% where you're able to kind of have a little bit more flexibility with that as well. That's what I find works for so many people that come into the GGB coaching circle, and being able to find that system that really works for you, that is sustainable long term, that you don't have to be perfect with, but you just need to be consistent with. That's going to be the main aim. And that also really follows on to the next mistake that a lot of people make, the fourth mistake, and that is just taking things in black and white. The one thing that I see with these trends is, and especially social media at the minute, it's always, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is good. Don't do this, do this, do this, do not do that. In my opinion, just taking things in black and white is not the way to go. Yes, I can see why people fall for this as well, because they can put blame on things. They can kind of go, oh, that's the reason why I'm feeling like this. That's the reason why things go like that. The reason why influencers do it, coaches do it, is because it gets views, it gets clicks, it's polarizing. And I get it, having your own opinion and kind of driving your own opinion is good. There is certain scientific evidence to kind of back up what a lot of people kind of say, but I think a lot of people just take things one way and they don't actually take things and add a little bit of nuance to certain things. Like for me, for example, I'm not coming out here and saying, oh, stop eating artificial sweetness, even though I've stopped doing that and I've stopped having Monsters and I started drinking energy drinks and 0-calorie drinks, because for me personally, I find it a lot easier to stick to my goals when I do stay away from them. I do find that I do get more hungry after drinking a Monster, after drinking a 0-calorie drink, and I definitely find it has sort of affected me. Maybe there is no kind of real scientific evidence to back that, but that's just me personally, and I wouldn't come on here and tell everyone to start doing that. If you do then do it and you find it then works for you, then that's all that matters, because 9 out of 10 things, yes, science is important to kind of back up these certain claims that people are making. Proof is in the pudding. What results you get, how you feel off the back of that, that's the main important part, and add nuance to it as well is very, very important, because one thing could work for one person and then one thing could not work for another person. I use it a lot with my clients. When I'm looking into their diet, they react a certain way to a food and they have maybe a crash in energy, or they don't kind of react well to a food. We then swap that food out. Does that mean that food is terrible and it's awful for them? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means for them personally, it's not a really good fit. Like for me personally, eating white bread, I don't like it. Not that I don't like it, I love white bread, I love bread. The way it kind of makes me feel after eating it, that's the problem. It makes me want to eat more and more and more of it. So I then move on to maybe a sourdough, which is a lot more fermented, it's got higher fiber, and it keeps me fuller for longer, so I don't kind of feel hungry after 2 or 3 hours after that. It's them small little things there. And I'm not saying bread is bad because I'm still eating bread. I'm just saying that food doesn't work for me, and it could be the exact same for you. And the reason why people get caught in this is because they just kind of they set themselves rules that are too unsustainable. They're too black and white. They're too, oh, I can't do this because this person said this, when they haven't even tried it themselves. If you're gonna do something, try something yourself. That's what I say to a lot of people. You've got basically two options here, right? When you're looking to get in shape, when you're looking to improve yourself, you can either use a lot of trial and error. That's exactly what I did. Yes, it takes a lot longer to do. Trial and error, doing things that work, and then kind of, if they do work, double down. If they don't, then just kind of regard them to the side and try something else. Or you pay someone like a coach to be able to cut middleman out for you and be able to basically make it a lot quicker and make the process a lot quicker for you, so you don't have to spend a load of time, wasting a load of time doing things that maybe aren't going to serve you in the long run and get you a little bit further down the line where you want to go. And the last one, oh mate, this is the absolute biggest one that so many men struggle with. The amount of DMs that I get and people say to me, oh, so yeah, what do you think are the supplements that I need to get? What's the best supplement that I need to get? I can see why people get caught in this trap as well. Is because everyone wants that kind of one thing. They want that thing that's going, oh, if I take this supplement, then it's gonna be, oh, a game changer. This is the one supplement that I'm gonna use. This is gonna change the game for me. It's gonna be amazing. And the truth is, yes, supplements are used to then supplement your life. So they make your life a little bit better. They give you that extra 5-10% down the line, but they aren't gonna give you that 80 to 90% of the results because they're not that powerful. Creatine, as much as it's the most researched supplement, if you don't have your diet on the money, if you don't train well, if you don't sleep 7 to 9 hours a night, then creatine is going to be absolutely useless because they are kind of the building blocks in behind them actually working at. That's what makes them 5-10% kind of things work a lot better. And there's a load of supplements out there and everyone gets caught in it because companies and they're advertising, this supplement is what I did to go from this to this. No, you didn't, mate. You ate in a calorie deficit, you trained and you slept well. Yes, you had a supplement as well, but that was not the reason why. It means that men like yourself are buying supplements, spend a load of money on supplements, stupid supplements that don't do anything because they haven't focused on prioritizing their food. If I had to pick between spending money on supplements and actually spending money on decent quality food, I would spend my money on decent quality food. The reason why people complain about not having the money to spend on decent quality food is because they buy stupid supplements that they don't even need. Like, in my opinion, the only 3 supplements that you really need are going to be vitamin D, omega-3 fish oils, and I would probably throw in creatine in there if you're going to have one in there. They're the only 3 that I think you really, really need. The rest of them, not even needed. Even protein powder, I would opt for getting more of your protein through the likes of food than through the likes of buying protein powder. But if you are really, really stuck for getting your protein in and you can't do it and you haven't got time to do it, then protein powder is a good option to kind of have in there just to kind of bolster it up. But I wouldn't rely too much on protein powder. So basically to kind of recap, do not crash your calories, don't obsess over the tiny little details, don't chase trends, avoid that kind of all or nothing kind of thinking and stop wasting your time and wasting your money on supplements. And if you found this useful, then hit subscribe. And if you are someone that wants to get lean, that wants to build muscle and wants a kind of tailored plan that can fit your lifestyle, if you are someone that is a busy individual, check the link below to apply for coaching.